Good morning. I'm here today with Rebecca and Bruce Elsworth. Good morning.
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 What is it that you bring to the local community that sets you apart?
Well, in Skipton, we've got a thriving community. We're born and brought up here, and it's such an exciting place. However, we do feel that, and we know now, that there is a gap in the market for a unique, small, bespoke venue for weddings, business meetings, special food events. Our background is hospitality. We've both been in hospitality for a long time. Bruce is an award-winning chef. I've headed up the Devonshire Arms, lots of different places. And we felt like we could bring to this old mill, which has lots of heritage, right next to Skipton Castle in the centre of Skipton. I mean, it's just unique. It's got mill windows all around the outside of it, brings so much natural light in. It's got beam ceiling, Yorkshire stone behind us, and it's just a beautiful space. And there is places in Skipton that do offer places for businesses and weddings, but the bigger hotels, which is great because obviously that's that sector, but here. It's just a little bit different. You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere and we're actually in the centre of Skipton because we're surrounded by the walk to Skipton Woods. So there's just green all around outside the windows. So it has a beautiful feel to it. And also we wanted to bring to the mill our own food events. So we do monthly supper clubs, wine and food pairing. And we host our own networking group as well here. So we have a monthly networking group. So as much as we are a business, we do like to bring people together, other businesses. And we also have a co-working space as well.
Okay, wow.
And we also have a unit where we have a sub-renter. So we have incomes from those two businesses, which kind of, as a business, pay our bills and our.
It takes the pressure off having two revenues at this first stage of the business, not even a year in. So, and we will extend when the kitchen gets developed. So we're doing the events without in a minute. The co-working will slightly grow, so that stay with us as opposed to disappear when we got big enough. But yeah, the space is bespoke. We keep it quite as a blank canvas, and it can be whatever the customer wants within reason, obviously. But for us, it's all about us, the personality of us, our staff having their personalities, nothing stuffy, nothing formal, nothing too corporate unless they want corporate. But we've got the experience to give ideas and have flex. But ultimately, it's hospitality, it's food and drink, it's finest, but in this super amazing space with backed up by the deliverance of the food, the drink, the ambience, the whole lot. So that makes us that's our USP. And we've traded in this area for so long, we're known, and we have people come to us. So that's our USP ultimately, who we are.
They're already our customers, so they've kind of followed us as well, which is nice. So we've got Skipton Building Society, Rural Solutions, J.M. Bentley, lots of like local businesses that are using it now as a hub, because even though they have small meeting spaces, obviously Skipton Building Society is huge, but they have small meeting spaces. But they've said to us, to get away from the office creates a better mindful thinking, instead of them thinking, I've got to go back to my chair and take a phone call, or I've got to do this. They actually like coming to a different destination, and it's quite got a good aura to this place. It feels quite relaxed and chilled.
But you link that with the food offering, opposed to a tray of dry sandwiches. Ours is fresh, seasonal, whatever they want, but we can be creative. And then they sit down to wow, I've never had a salad like that, because they're in a corporate environment. So we do get that's where we're getting peak trade from. They're our money at the moment while we're still growing, which is for us is what we do.
And I think it is slightly, I mean, we're not healthy, obviously we do cakes and things like that as well. But it is like they get a colourful, healthier buffet of food instead of, you know, a general sandwich.
Egg sandwich and a mayonnaise-based salad.
Well,
It's all about the taste. Yeah.
I must admit that Skipton is one of my nicest place to go to. So next time I'm in Skipton, I will definitely come around and see you guys. So going back to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago, so what do you offer to the businesses in the local area?
So a space, the space we created is completely private for them. So we've had lots of different things, away days, socials. Quite a lot of businesses have used it for a thank you to the staff or a time for them to get together. We've had people doing lots of different team building, you know, sticking pasta together and building a tower, and training days, health and safety days.
But it isn't diverse as we did a yoga brunch last Sunday. We've had Tai Chi in here, and they're for local businesses who we know, and some are in the mill as well. So we support them to say, yes, this is what we're going to do, how we're going to work with you.
I've been, along with another colleague, two colleagues, sorry, I've set up Skipton Business Social, which we've been doing now for 5 years. We did it at the restaurant and then we've moved them here because the space is obviously better here. But that's about getting, well, it's non-profitable, but it's getting businesses together and collaborating, even if you're a small business, and you don't actually have to be the business owner, you just can work for somebody, but you know, you want to learn more skills or you just want to meet like-minded people. And it's been really, really successful. And we've become quite good friends, and people have been collaborating together. You know, you might have a landscape designer and a photographer, and they've been coming together. So that's been really nice. So this space, as well as obviously being a business, I feel like it brings people together as well on all the different things that we've done.
Business. Well, obviously, we still use all the suppliers in the area. I'm a Yorkshire lad, and I'm all about using small independent businesses, with the food and provenance being and quality being the forefront, as opposed to try and get the cheapest something that's not good enough quality. Or we're not here to cut corners. We have quality from everything we touch, and so we use our suppliers who have supported us at the restaurant for 5 years. Some I've used longer because I've been working in this area for a long time.
And they're good friends as well, aren't they?
And they're friends, and you've got a relationship with people. When you've got a relationship with your suppliers, they talk about you. They come and use you. They want to, it's good for them. So you're piggybacking each other on recommendations and stuff, which is powerful. And it's a good free stuff, really, that works.
And that's a lot of our events, our food events are kind of around that as well. So there's one next year we'll want to put together like an artisan food event where we have local artisan food makers. We've got an organic blue cheese maker nearby, we've got a gin maker, we've got beer, we've got charcuterie, bread. You know, we quite like to get those together. People come and they can stand up and talk about their ingredients, and we give them like a platter of food and a wine and a beer, you know, that's kind of tasting, but also getting to meet the maker and getting to know about their story, because there's so many local brilliant suppliers that we can shout about.
And there's nothing more powerful than the man who grew that pig telling you about that pig, how it's got to that bacon. It's like us selling our business.
As you can see, we're very passionate about food.
Good. Well, talking about food, and you being in the hospitality for such a long time, what do you want to be known for in hospitality?
That's aimed at me. Well, I'm not too worried about being famous or being known. But in the trade, I just want to be someone who's done it right, trained correctly, use the right processes, being ethical with how we use suppliers and what products we're using, how we get the best out of these things, and just being. And I do like to think, I've worked with a lot of chefs underneath me. Some have gone on and done some amazing things, and at the time you don't think about that as a chef. But when you look at it now, you go, "Wow, he did 2 years for me. She did a year for me." You're like, so I just want to input something I've got up here, my mindset of how I operate, my discipline, my food knowledge into anybody I work with. And I think that's powerful in one sense because they've gone on and bettered themselves. I just want to give people a great platform to better themselves. And if that's I'm known for being a fair, half decent chef, I'm happy. But that influence into here, what we're trying to do with anybody who works with us or works for us, it's just setting them up to succeed and better themselves with the right tools.
But I think also the venue itself, we want to be known for, a unique food experience. So are we going to have monthly supper clubs? They're always going to be different. They're going to be seasonal. Again, champion local suppliers and telling them a bit about how Bruce has put those tastes and textures together. But also we've got things like opera and food and jazz nights that we're putting in with, food as well, and kind of just mixing and collaborating again. I think we want to be known for those unique events in Skipton, because again, there isn't anything like that in Skipton. There's lots of different things that are going on food wise, but in respect to the events and what we're trying to offer is slightly different.
Yeah, and we're blessed because we can sell them off the back of our client base and our experience. But we have the wide spectrum. As we discussed, we go from corporate to away days to some pick-up sandwiches for yoga brunch to fine dining to a yoga brunch, and then you go on to opera, then you go on to jazz. It just tells the space is so versatile because we keep it as a blank canvas. People come in and go, oh, I want to get married here. Oh, what event can I have? I've heard people say, I need to have a birthday coming up because I want to use this space, which for us is like, thank you. It's just a pat on the back and the events coming in. That's the pat on the back, and then getting to deliver them.
But also Bruce has created a new business just to put it in the mix that called Good Energy Chef, because obviously Bruce's passion is, we don't do obviously with the events, they're general, but Bruce's passion is healthy eating and kind of teaching that experience to other people. So we're hoping, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
we're doing a cookery school demo. We're going to have an open kitchen in here eventually.
So kind of to break it down slightly, it's a Good Energy Chef, which is the brand. And under that brand is the umbrella of health. It's going to be a health and wellness brand. So I will deliver talks. I will deliver classes. I will do online stuff where I'm just, like Becca says, educating how to eat better, how to eat for your diabetes, how to eat for, say, menopause, and just pass on my notes. Some of this is not us trying to make money. It's just to educate and pass on knowledge and demyth how people can have a better life without trying to follow strict recipes that aren't realistic in this lifestyle that people have. And there's a living crisis. So it's passing on my knowledge in that side. I want to learn more about nutrition, pass on the nutrition. Eventually, we'll do some launching like an energy ball range, and snacks and vegan or gluten free. But the mentality of that is taste, which is what all about. So 7 or 8 ingredients opposed to 40, 50 ingredients, ease and additives. So that's happening. But under this umbrella of health and wellness, which will grow forever, we'll just keep adding arms and seeing what works. Obviously, we've done this because we're too quiet. We've got nothing to do on our hand with the other place. But we've got it and it's happening. So that will grow organically.
But Bruce has been producing balls for 7 years now. So we have a high demand for them. We're actually currently going through the branding stage and the packaging stage. But we have given them we've been supplying small businesses for them, but the demand's got bigger now. So
a retail arm to that, but on its own, as you'll understand, that won't make enough money. So we've opened it up so it's the brand name for everything. So yeah, and again, that will be local businesses. We've done all the research on the local businesses, on the gyms, the Pilates studios, but it's a lifestyle brand. So it's for your nan to try and eat something tasty and then go, actually, that's really tasty. Oh, it's protein. Well, I wouldn't have bought it. all about the taste, but it delivers the right nutrition, right protein account. So we get into gyms because people are so conscious how to get the right protein inside themselves. But I don't want to be a big, bulky, male orientated gym brand. Not us. There's a market for that, but it's saturated, and I ain't going to try and compete with that because I don't want to. It wants to be something for everybody, which fits with who we are.
Thank you. Well, going back to what you were saying before about planned events, what are the next upcoming events?
So this year, we have monthly networking groups. We've got monthly supper clubs, so that's where they come. And to be honest, we haven't done one yet. We've got one set for October. And they have canapes and a pear drink on arrival, sit down and have 4 courses. But with each course, Bruce will come out and just explain.
Yeah, so it's on the supper club, it's kind of an informal kind of gathering or shared tables, but we get to cook absolutely the freshest seasonal ingredients, but we can be fine dining. So there's be some theatre involved, but I'll come out and explain what the dish is, how it's been put together, what the thought processes was. Eventually, we'll have a little open kitchen pass, so we will have some theatre of a kitchen where I can maybe physically plate in front of them.
And then they eat it. Well, when we have events, they always want to know where Bruce is and what they'll ask different, what was that in there and how was that? So I think that's where the idea came about more so because obviously they want to ask Bruce questions. There's only so much I can give them, and we do we've been doing wine and food pairing events for about 5 years now. We had our first one in the mill on Sunday just gone, and it was really, really successful. So again, we do those every other month, and then we've got a wine social as well, which is a bit more relaxed. And we've got jazz nights coming up in December, and we've got opera. Again, a local lady called Bibi Heel, who sung at the Royal Albert Hall and many different places she's coming to do. So they will experience a 3-course meal, but in between, when they arrive, she'll be singing, and in between the courses, she'll be singing. And obviously, Bruce and her have collaborated, what the food's going to be like and how the music's going to complement that. We've got a Burns night. We always do Burns night, and we've actually, because we've got this bigger space now, we've got a bagpiper. We're gonna bring.
I just need to chase and catch a haggis. That's all.
Weddings. So we have a wedding license. We've got a lot of weddings coming up next year, but we kind of concentrate on small units, so we can sit up to 64, and then have a nice space for social standing as well. But we're concentrating on more smaller weddings. Even we're doing one for 20, but they can all sit on one big long table. So it's more smaller, private, smaller events.
Small bespoke. But on all these, we are still, as you appreciate, as a young business, we're still learning what works best for us. The logistics of that was okay, but didn't work. And then our efforts will go into actually that works best for the space, for us, for revenue, for how we can deliver it to the highest standard. So we have many different things going on, like 100 balls in the air, and then we'll go, that works. That's our best angle. So we will keep on diversing.
Well, yeah, and all the events that we've got coming up this year and next are all fully booked now as well. So, so it's been really lovely because I feel bad to say to customers, "Oh no, I'm really sorry."
Which it comes as like, oh wow, that's the pat on the back. Makes you really focus. I nearly to pull my socks up. And you have to get on with it. So, but it's very humbling. We're full on these events, and
we have a lot of repeat customers as well, which have been really supportive through our whole career, which is, they're like friends now. They're like really important to us and really supportive. And we always have such a good, when we have events as well, we do them on long tables, and So
Well,
you might,
nice.
I do the table plan, but I try and sit, so they might be sat next to somebody they don't know. Obviously, they sit with their party, but then they're sat with other people. So the best feeling is when they all leave and they've made new friends, and then next time they come, they're sat with they're booked with the couple, you know. So, and we have a lot of singles who come, and then they meet new friends as well, which I think is really lovely, because you know we have a lot of customers that are on their own now, have lost a partner, or and they feel comfortable enough to come. And again, I always do the table plan so that they will feel comfortable and make a new friend. So again, I feel we've created a lovely social space and experience with good quality food.
Yeah, and to say things are full is like, oh wow, thank you very much. And you just think it proves we're doing something right. It makes us where all that said, we're thinking, how do we elevate next year? How are we going to elevate the next event? What do we have to do different to keep them interested? Because we can't do the same thing every time. That's boring. And we're two creative people, and the team's so creative. So we need to keep going.
But that's also exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exciting for us to keep delivering something different to the consumer.
But we're always never under the illusion that because we're full, it's always going to continue to be that. So we always need to be
in front.
Yeah, and building on that, not just assuming that that's always going to be the case.
Because then wheels will fall off, and you can't get complacent in any industry, but definitely in the hospitality industry.
Rebecca, Bruce, thank you very much for today. It's been great to talk to you. And if you would like to get in touch with them, please visit the website for further information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.